Apple's iPhone 17 Pro Max is already getting attention, but if you're considering upgrading soon, you might want to hold off for just one more year. Because the iPhone 18 Pro Max, set to arrive in 2026, is shaping up to be the real breakthrough in Apple's lineup. Early leaks, insider reports, and supply chain details all point toward a phone that could easily outshine not just the iPhone 17 Pro Max, but potentially every flagship Android rival released around the same time. In this deep dive, I'll break down everything we know so far. The design leaks, display changes, new dynamic island, performance jumps, camera upgrades, A20 chip, RAM expansion, new communication chip, carbon-based battery, and even pricing and release date predictions. By the end, you'll see why many experts believe the iPhone 18 Pro Max will be the true game changer. The evolution of iPhone design. Why 2026? Is different. Apple doesn't completely redesign its iPhones every single year. Instead, it follows a cycle of refinement, polish, and then major reinvention. The iPhone X in 2017 was a leap. The iPhone 12 in 2020 brought the flat-edge design, and now, all eyes are on what comes after the 17. The iPhone 18 Pro Max won't get a completely new exterior shell, and that's rumored to come with the iPhone 20 Anniversary Edition in 2028. But Apple isn't standing still either. The 18 Pro Max will feature a dramatically reduced dynamic island, making the front of the phone sleeker than ever. Dynamic Island 2.0, smaller, smarter, sleeker. One of the biggest complaints about the Dynamic Island since it launched was simple. While it added functionality, it still took up too much screen space. Apple knows this, and according to trusted supply chain leaks, they are working on shrinking the Dynamic Island by nearly half. There are two main possibilities being discussed: a slimmer Dynamic Island that's nearly invisible when not in use, or under-display Face ID, leaving only a tiny hole-punch camera visible. While both are exciting, most analysts lean toward the slimmer island being more realistic for 2026. Under-display Face ID is possible, but the technology may not be fully ready at Apple's strict quality level by then. Either way, the iPhone 18 Pro Max will feel more futuristic than the iPhone 17 Pro Max, giving users more usable display area for watching videos, gaming, and everyday tasks. For people who care about design, this one change alone could be enough to skip the 17 and wait for the 18 camera system, Apple's biggest leap. Yet, if there's one area Apple consistently pushes forward, it's camera technology. And with the iPhone 18 Pro Max, Apple might deliver its largest photography leap in years. Here's what we know so far. Variable aperture main camera. Instead of the fixed aperture we see now, Apple is reportedly adding a variable aperture system, much like high-end DSLR or mirrorless cameras. This means the lens itself can adjust how much light enters depending on the shooting conditions. On a bright day, the aperture narrows, preventing overexposure. In low light, it opens wider, pulling in dramatically more detail. For everyday users, this means better night photography, less noise, and more cinematic results without needing editing software, switching sensor suppliers. Apple has long relied on Sony for camera sensors, but leaks suggest Apple is moving back to Samsung sensors, which now lead in certain areas like dynamic range and low-light performance. This switch could give the iPhone 18 Pro Max a clear edge over Android rivals. AI-driven image processing. With the new A20 chip, image processing is expected to lean heavily on Apple Intelligence, AI. This will bring smarter scene detection, real-time editing, improved portrait mode, and professional-level video stabilization. This combination, hardware plus AI software, could make the iPhone 18 Pro Max one of the best camera phones in history. Performance. The A20 chip and 2nm revolution. Apple's chips have always set the standard in the smartphone industry. But with the A20 chip, built on TSMC's cutting-edge 2nm process, the iPhone 18 Pro Max is set to deliver performance leaps that outshine the incremental updates we saw in the A18 and A19 chips. Here's why this is such a big deal. Smaller transistors, always faster performance. Moving from 3nm to 2nm means Apple can pack more transistors in the same space, improving speed, efficiency, and multitasking. 12GB of high-bandwidth RAM. Apple is finally boosting memory beyond the 8GB found in the 15 and 16 Pro models. With 12GB RAM, apps stay open longer, multitasking feels smoother, and high-performance gaming will rival dedicated handheld consoles. The new C2 communication chip at Apple's in-house communication chip will replace the older C1, optimizing 5G, Wi-Fi 7, and Bluetooth 6.0. Not only will this increase speeds, but it will also reduce power drain, giving you faster streaming and downloads without sacrificing battery life. This makes the iPhone 18 Pro Max not just a faster iPhone, but potentially the fastest phone on the planet when it launches. Battery technology. Enter carbon-based cells. Battery life has always been a hot topic. Apple makes yearly improvements, but in 2026, the iPhone 18 Pro Max could bring a huge breakthrough: carbon-based batteries. Why does this matter? Faster charging. Expect significantly reduced charging times compared to the iPhone 17 series. Improved longevity. Carbon-based cells degrade slower than traditional lithium-ion, meaning your battery lasts longer over the phone's lifespan. Better daily use. Users could see longer screen-on times, supporting Apple's push into more AI-driven background tasks without killing the battery. If Apple combines this with reverse wireless charging, something rumored but never delivered in iPhones, it could be one of the most exciting power upgrades in years. Release date and pricing. What to expect? Apple almost never breaks tradition with iPhone launches. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to release in September 2026, following the same fall schedule we've seen for over a decade. As for pricing, iPhone 18 Pro, around $1,249 in the US. iPhone 18 Pro Max, around $1,249 in the UST. It's consistent with the iPhone 17 lineup, although global pricing could shift slightly depending on currency exchange rates and inflation. Why you might want to skip the iPhone 17. The iPhone 17 Pro Max will still be a powerful device, but many leaks suggest it will be more of a refinement year rather than a reinvention. If you're someone who only upgrades every 2 to 3 years, the iPhone 18 Pro Max might be the smarter choice because it bundles together a new front design with smaller dynamic island. Next gen camera tech with variable aperture, A20 chip with 2nm architecture, 12GB RAM for future proofing, carbon-based battery with faster charging and longer life. Essentially, if you want the iPhone that feels like it's truly from the future, the iPhone 18 Pro Max could be the one worth waiting for. Final thoughts. Apple's roadmap is clear. The iPhone 17 Pro Max will be good, but the iPhone 18 Pro Max is shaping up to be extraordinary. With new design changes, groundbreaking camera upgrades, faster chips, improved communication systems, and next-generation battery tech, the 2026 flagship could redefine what users expect from an iPhone. So if you're debating whether to upgrade in 2025 or wait until 2026, the answer may just be, hold off one more year. The iPhone 18 Pro Max will likely be worth the wait.